So in the wake of Kenji Inafune's recent Kickstarter campaign for the spiritual successor of the Blue Bomber, Mighty Number 9, I figured I'd do this AfterMash. As of me writing the script for this video, the goal of $900,000 to create the new Legend of Mech has already been reached in a day and a half. So as the fans of Mega Man readily accept this new hero, I'd like to make a tribute to the hero that started it all, Mega Man and his story. So in case you're wondering, I'll be following the timeline of the classic games. If you didn't know, the Mega Man universe actually has two timelines. One that was started by the classic NES games, and a whole different timeline created by the Battle Network series, where Dr. Light instead developed advanced networking instead of focusing on robotics. Also, a few more things. There are a few games that don't really apply to the story, so I'm not really going to mention them, like, Mega Man Soccer. It's a good game, but, I really don't know where to place that. I guess they just had soccer sometime after Mega Man, like 5 or something. I also read up on sites and forums with the history of Mega Man, and also from my own memory from all the games that I played. So some are speculation and some are not, but if I got anything wrong, please feel free to leave a comment and start a discussion. Anyways, without further ado, let's start from the very, very beginning, even way before the events that happened in the first NES game. According to the Super Adventure Rockman, an ancient supercomputer called Ra Moon crashed on Earth 20,000 years before the first game. So it's like really ancient times, right? Like the forbidden fruit in Eden, it granted humans knowledge and technology, but it fed on their hatred, thus creating war and destruction. Praised for giving them power, they constructed a temple for the supercomputer, the Temple of the Moon, praising it like it was a deity. Little did the humans know that Ra Moon fed their hatred, hoping that the humans would kill each other off so that it can repopulate Earth with robots. For some reason, it delayed its plans and decided to burrow itself deep into the earth with a temple. Fast forward to somewhere near the end of 19XX, Drs. Thomas Light and Albert W. Wiley received their PhDs in robotic science and engineering, and together they created Light Labs, where Dr. Light was the head and Dr. Wiley was his assistant. A few years later, when the century turned to 20XX, together they created Proto Man. He was the culmination of the advancement of research in artificial technology and robotics. Being the first of his kind, Proto Man felt completely unsure about himself and started to question his existence. Despite all of this, Light loved him like a son, as if he bore his own genes. From the creation and design of Proto Man, Light Labs then developed the Sniper Joe series for law enforcement, but implemented a far more simpler version of the AI, but was equipped with combat weapons to aid the police force. This troubled Proto Man, seeing that the Sniper Joe series had a specific and clear purpose, and it confused him more on why he was created. Distrust cultivated in his mind against Dr. Light until it finally blossomed when he found out that since he was the very first, hence a prototype, his power source was incomplete and he was to die very soon. Dr. Light wanted to disassemble him and fix his power source, but fearing that it would completely change his personality, his sense of self, he did what any true sentient being would do. He chose to survive. He ran away from Light Labs and never trusting Dr. Light ever again. Dr. Light then created a pair of robots with upgraded power systems, Rock and Roll. Of course in America we call him Mega. But let's continue. He created the duo so one would not feel alone and believed the two would provide mutual support for each other. Rock would be his lab assistant while Roll would be his housekeeper. Way to propagate gender roles and stereotypes, Dr. Light. With the success of the creation of Rock and Roll, Light Labs goes on to create the first robots called the Industrial Series: Cutman, Gutsman, Iceman, Bomb Man, Fireman, and Elect Man. In the remake, Mega Man powered up, they added 2 other robots, Time Man and Oil Man. Dr. Light then received the Nobel Peace Prize for the creation of the Robot Masters, while Dr. Wily was denied of his. Bitterness soon developed for his best friend Dr. Light. Constantly living in his shadow, Dr. Wily started to detest everything that Light did. He was always better, smarter, more applauded for his work. This is the time when he found Proto Man in the desert, clutching to the last moments of his life. Seeing that this could be a turn for the better for him, Dr. Wily refitted Proto Man with combat capabilities and fitting his power source with a nuclear core. Now with a newfound purpose, Proto Man works for Dr. Wily as he starts his descent into evil. Soon after, the events of the first game begins. In the year 20XX, Dr. Wily has sabotaged the Robot Masters of the Industrial Series to revolt against Dr. Light and the rest of humanity for never recognizing his hard work. Knowing that the armies of the world were not ready to fight these robots, Dr. Light knew that he had only one way to stop Wily. With a meek voice and a strong sense of justice, Rock volunteered to be transformed into a combat-ready robot. Dr. Light, knowing that this was the only way, and with a heavy heart, converts Rock into Mega Man, not knowing that this sets forth the true destiny of his second son. Equipped with the arm cannon and the ability to take the special weapons of the Robot Masters, Mega Man then sets off to destroy all of the rampaging robots and Dr. Wily's fortress. Yes, I said arm cannon, not Mega Buster. At his defeat, Dr. Wily begs forgiveness and Mega Man lets him walk away. Sometime later, Dr. Wily comes back again in Mega Man 2 for world domination with new Robot Masters and a new fortress, and once again, Mega Man sets forth to destroy the robot army and Wily. He blasted Airman with his arm cannon, destroyed Crash Man with the air shooter, bested Flash Man with the Crash Bomber, Quick Man with a Time Stopper and Crash Bomber, Metal Man with Quick Man's Quick Boomerang, popped Bubble Man's Bubble with Metal Blades and did use the pause technique, doused Heat Man with a Bubble Lead, and set ablaze the Woodman with Atomic Fire. Defeated once again, Dr. Wily begged for forgiveness and again, obeying to the Asimov's laws of robots, Mega Man let him go. Okay guys, that's it for this part, but the story will continue in the next part through some NES games and Game Boy games, and a special PlayStation and Sega Saturn game called Super Rockman Adventure. So if you guys like this video, please hit subscribe and watch the other videos on mashthosebuttons.com. But if you like me too, you could watch some of my videos on my channel. It's not really video gaming, but they're more like martial arts and kung fu fighting, because that's kind of what I do. So check it out and just click on the links. And thank you very much. And please, please, please hit subscribe.